Welcome back to the DirtSheets.com end of 2012 awards. This episode we're going to be talking about the Dubious Awards. I'm Zach Brown, and with me as always David Martell. We're going to be talking about a lot of worst wrestler categories, which are kind of tough to get through sometimes.
You have to have the bad with the good.
Yeah, right? And you got to critique what needs critiquing.
And we love critiquing. Right, Jeff Hardy? I'm looking at you.
Jeff Hardy's nowhere on our list.
Looking at you.
Nowhere on our list.
I still like to talk about him.
Okay. Let's start with most disappointing wrestler. This was probably our most difficult to decide category. So we had a four-way tie for second and third, four-way tie, and we had one on top that barely made the top. Okay, so each with 5 points is Zack Ryder, Wade Barrett, Sin Cara, and Tensai. Now, I think it's important to note that it's not that these wrestlers are necessarily bad. I mean, maybe you think some of them are.
Some of them are.
Some of them are.
Tensai.
And maybe, Tensai, easily disappointing. He made my list for disappointing. Sin Cara, maybe makes a few botches. Maybe didn't live up to his fullest potential.
Definitely.
Wade Barrett made his return and kind of floundered in the mid-card.
Brought the worst finisher ever.
I don't know about ever, but it's not a successful
It's
finisher.
terrible.
Is that what it's called? Bull Hammer?
I think it's called Bull Hammer. I'm calling it the Bull Hammer. So.
And Zack Ryder, especially when compared to last year, he really dropped off. That's not his fault.
That's not his fault.
That's not his fault.
That's unfair.
Yeah, I know. And our number one pick with only 6 points. This was, the voting was very random across our staff. But with 6 points, our winner here is Randy Orton. Randy Orton.
Keith Orton.
He did make my list, though not the top. I think. I mean,
he was the top of my list.
He was.
What has he done?
Right.
In 2012, what did he do?
He main evented a lot last year, and he was kind of the number 2 guy last year.
Last year's 2012, Zach.
No, I'm saying 2011.
We're 2011. We're in 2013
right now, but we're reviewing 2012.
Anyways, 2012. Randy Orton has done nothing. He got suspended. He came back. He has done nothing. This whole face thing has not been good, and it's disappointing because he was the number 2 guy.
He was,
and now what number is he? Obviously CM Punk is at least
probably
the number 2 guy.
3, 4, 5. I don't know. But he's not in an interesting storyline or anything, so he gets our spot for most disappointing wrestler. Definitely. Unfortunately, worst moment of the year. Worst moment of the year. So for
not this podcast.
No, we're separate from wrestling companies. Hornswoggle as Raw GM makes our number 3 spot with 5 points. This drove me crazy. It didn't even make my list.
I would have rather they never said a word.
I know. I would have rather they kept it secret. It seems like Hornswoggle is kind of the scapegoat for a lot of bad storylines.
Yeah. And he just makes them worse.
Son storyline.
Yeah.
He was the scapegoat for that, and this was even worse. It's no good. No good. No. Our number 2 moment. Claire Lynch moments. Our staff voted a variety of moments. We decided to combine them. We voted, Claire Lynch's first promo, which was atrocious. Claire Lynch showing drunken pictures of AJ.
Yeah, he was sleeping.
And Claire Lynch saying she's turning out not to have a baby or whatever.
That whole storyline.
Whole storyline's garbage. Bad. We'll get to that. Our worst moment of the year with 9 points is Sheamus Daniel Bryan 18 seconds at WrestleMania.
I'll never forget watching that, and I was like, worst WrestleMania ever.
It was difficult to swallow. This was my number 1 moment. I think it was yours too.
We hated that WrestleMania up until the Undertaker match.
Yeah, probably.
We were so angry.
I was seething.
With the 18 seconds, we were like,
seething.
He's our favorite wrestler. Give him a freaking WrestleMania match. That match would have been awesome.
I know. It killed me. It totally killed me.
Still bothers me.
I know.
And although it resulted into Daniel Bryan being extremely popular,
When he turned lemonade, I mean, he made lemonade out of lemons, but it's just, it doesn't make it okay.
It's just
singular moment, it's the worst.
Yeah,
he was a very deserving World Heavyweight Champion. He did not deserve to lose that belt.
Definitely agree.
So that's that. Worst storyline of the year. This is big.
All love storylines.
Although yes, that's important to note. And our winner was resounding. Our number 3 spot, Bully Ray Brooke Hogan with 3 points.
Why did they do this to Bully Ray?
This was bad.
He was my favorite.
This is and was bad. It's still ongoing too.
Unfortunately,
it's a couple of things. Partly it's that Bully Ray is a face here, and partly that he's around the Hogans. So I don't know. Austin Aries is one of the only saving graces here, but it's still pretty bad.
Why?
I don't know. Our second place spot with 8 points. Cena, AJ, Dolph, and Vicky. It's more Cena, AJ than anything else, but that has 8 points. That's our second place. It's pretty bad. It makes AJ and Punk, Brian, Kane just a far away thing. This is really bad. I know.
It bothers me.
Cena's
anytime.
I think the worst part of it is
kissing Cena was like, why?
Yeah.
Why did you kill my hopes and dreams?
The worst part of it is Cena. I feel it's just it's pretty bad. The one saving grace I think is Vicky Guerrero. She occasionally has some good things to offer. You just hate it.
It was terrible.
It is terrible. It can still continue. That's the bad part.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. And with 15 points, our number 1 pick. These were made up of all first picks amongst our staff.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. Claire Lynch and AJ Styles. Claire Lynch.
Well, who wrote this?
Claire Lynch
hired this woman.
Claire Lynch is one of the worst storylines in the history of professional wrestling.
In TNA for sure.
TNA for sure, yeah. Oh, it's garbage.
There's been a lot of
there's been a lot of that
TNA.
stuff, yeah. But this almost took the cake. It was ridiculous, stupid. You bring this woman at first that we just really don't care about, and then she's a terrible actress, atrocious actress.
Yeah.
And her first promo was a real big red flag. They should have just dropped the storyline after that, but it just kept going. There were wrestlers coming out of the woodworks to try to defend this storyline and say, wait, it's going to get good.
AJ Styles
never got good.
And they're like, just wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Oh.
Wait, it's bad.
it's bad.
We're going to hurry up and end this before it gets worse.
This baby is coming, AJ.
Phenomenal.
That was
only saving grace was Kaz and Daniels.
Kaz and Daniels were so
phenomenal
funny.
Fetus.
When he takes the doll and he's like, it's so funny. But
that's enough of that.
Yeah,
we've seen enough.
Yeah, and our final category we're going to cover in this video: worst wrestler of the year. That's big. Worst wrestler. You got to be pretty bad to make our list here. So let's get down to it. Worst wrestler of the year. We had a tie for second and third place here. So tied for second and third place, Joseph Park and the Great Khali with 5 points each. Yeah, 5 points each.
I'm going to learn how to be a wrestler.
Great Khali.
I'm not Abyss, but I'm going to learn how to be a wrestler.
That Black Hole Slam textbook. No, terrible.
Every time he talks, I want to.
Joseph Park is atrocious. I know it's one of the worst characters
Great Khali
in a
is
long
just
time.
Known to be terrible. Joseph Park is another level of terrible.
He is,
in my opinion,
because Abyss was good. I mean, he was at least decent.
Yes,
he was at least decent. Yeah, it's just upsetting all around.
All his facial expressions. I want to slap him.
Yeah.
Like I want to really slap his face off.
Yep. And Great Khali's been around. He's still not good. I don't know why he was ever put in the spotlight.
He once killed a man.
Let's not talk. Why do you gotta always bring that up?
Oh, just say it.
Consistently.
Look it up.
Anyway, our number 1 worst wrestler of the year with 10 points, Garrett Bischoff. I think everything that Scott Steiner said about Garrett Bischoff really sums up Garrett Bischoff. Can't throw a clothesline. Worst
last name is Bischoff.
Last name is Bischoff.
Worst tattoos in the history of the world.
Involved in some of the worst storylines with his dad, and just like, why do we care?
But my
The
worst
stuff-
wrestler was The Miz.
Oh, come on.
Really?
You gotta mention
The Miz?
that. It didn't even make our top list, but
The
we had to
Miz.
mention it. The Miz was disappointing, I feel. He made my number
No,
one
the worst.
disappointing, but not number
He
one
made my
worst.
number
He's not
worst.
a bad wrestler.
He's been awful. Cringeworthy, awful.
Cringeworthy.
I'm putting my
we
hood
will-
over
we
my
will
head.
admit his face turn has been one of the worst in history. But, you know what?
I must stash you a question. Okay,
Your mom. Oh! Anyway, so watch our next video for our Wrestler of the Year and Match of the Year. Thanks, guys.